Today, I want to disclose to you guys why I am a Satanist. More specifically, Levian Satanism, because I think there are multiple types of Satanism. All Levian Satanists are kind of atheists. They don't believe in a horned red being underground planning to destroy humanity. They believe it's our lower nature that's the real devil, and Satan is just a symbol used by the church, because I kind of agree with Marilyn Manson's quote. It's Satan is the church's best ally because he's kept them in business. Or if Satan didn't exist, the church would go out of business. So the reason I think the real devil is humans is because, well, one, if all the other organisms on Earth could vote, we are the species that would be voted off the planet. We're the most destructive. Like other animals, they don't, I guess, build houses. They don't encroach on the environment too much. They don't alter the landscape. They don't build buildings in cities or drive cars or whatever. And also, most people don't even know how much they don't know. And so most people don't even care to, watch the documentaries or read the books or do whatever, watch whatever videos to try to learn stuff. Yeah, most people would much rather watch TV or a movie than read a book, or they wouldn't even want to go to a movie with subtitles. Those are my favorite types of movies, Hindi movies. Even though I can't understand anything they're saying, there's subtitles. The music's good. They always have musical numbers in Hindi films, which makes me think, yeah, the Eastern culture is very different. Singing and dancing is more of a religious thing. But movies in Asia are always so long. They're 3 hours. So yeah, what humans are the real devil is because I've noticed that a lot of people are just kind of stupid or ignorant, or they don't really think for themselves. Maybe I'm just lucky. I'm have a better working brain because I know there's a mind-body connection. That's why the more you exercise, the better your brain works. They say jog your memory. Or that's why yoga studios, they're called evolution salons. Evolution salons, because it's just, I think exercise is a mechanism of personal evolution. I mean, more scientific people, they always get at people like me for saying evolution of the species or whatever, because they say evolution doesn't happen that fast. It happens over hundreds of millions of years, and it's speciation, natural selection, and certain species have to die off, and survival of the fittest. And I mean, we recognize that. The people who say personal evolution, we recognize that they're not the same type of evolution. There's evolution that you learn about in science class with natural selection, speciation, and it's gone from fish to amphibians, dinosaurs, birds. Then I think mammals came after that. Then, primates and humans, Cro-Magnons and Homo sapiens, or Homo erectus, Neanderthal. Because the thing is, it's easier for people to attack and dismiss what they don't understand than accept the parts of themselves they don't like. Yeah, that's definitely true. And I also like the quote, just because you don't understand something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Because, I mean, a lot of people say, what's called magic, the things that are considered magic or referred to as magic, like, they say, oh, that's just a bunch of bullshit, that's nonsense, because it's just things you don't understand. Like, I'm sure that's the actual dictionary definition of magic. Just things you don't understand, because, I mean, when people say, how does it do that? Like, I mean, I read that book, Into Magic Shop, where the old woman who is the mother of the woman who works at the magic shop, the man who works at the magic shop, she said she's from Ohio, and her best trick was that she would have a candle, and she would be able to use her mind to make the candle, like, to extinguish and ignite itself, like, to, get bigger. And the boy was like, I don't know, 10 years old. He was like, how does it do that? She was like, it's magic. And of course, for a lot of things, you have to practice a lot. It takes a lot of practice, like with anything. I guess with things like magic that aren't really talked about in mainstream society, that are considered like natural laws of physics or sort of paranormal, or they take more practice because, I mean, fields like physics or geometry or math or biology that have already been founded and established and well researched, or obviously there's going to be more assistance for people trying to learn it than people trying to learn things that kind of were part of the underground of society for a long time, or new things, like people just trying new things, like trying to control a candle with your mind. So yeah, that's why I think humans are the devil. And also a big part that most people, like, we're primates, right? So why don't we just eat like other primates? Don't gorillas and bonobos, chimpanzees, lemurs mostly eat fruit? And why most people, they think we need to eat dead cow flesh or dead chicken or the milk of a cow or what's meant for a baby cow? Like, that's a species that's very different from the human. It's they're supposed to get a lot bigger and they live differently. Like, they have 4 stomachs, totally different digestive system. So why do we think we need their milk? Like, and most people, they think if cows didn't get milked, their udders would explode. And no, for all species, it's just like human females when they produce milk, because, when human females have a baby, that's when their body starts producing milk, because the milk's for the baby. The baby can't really eat anything else. And the milk's specially designed for them to be able to grow fast. And we are the only species that doesn't wean, like, drinking milk right after infancy, because, I mean, other species recognize the milk is designed for rapid growth, and once you stop needing that actual growth, when you actually stop growing as a little kid and, like, you're an adult, you don't grow in size, but you keep drinking milk, rapid growth turns into cancer cells. But I mean, I drink almond milk and coconut milk, and so, I mean, it's not all as bad, but when it's from another animal, it's kind of bad to that other animal. It's unfair. I guess it's unfair to take bees' honey, and, I mean, we don't really need it. It's like, why? I'm sure there was a time, like, I heard a story about ancient India when, like, everyone was vegan because, like, that's just the natural way of humans. We're supposed to eat fruit, some vegetables, and nuts and seeds. Like, that's what other primates eat. And, for whatever reason, people, like, they said the untouchables of India started eating, like, the dead bodies of animals, or the products of animals, like dead food, uh, dead bodies, eating corpses, like. And they said that that's when they added 70 or 72 illnesses to the what humans die from. They said before that there were three things. One of them was old age. The other one was probably poisoning by whether a snake bite, eating a poisonous mushroom. I guess like kings would have tasters to make sure their food wasn't poisoned, or scorpion, spider, I guess. And I guess the other was doing something like jumping off a cliff or getting killed. Like, yeah, physical injuries. So yeah, it's like there's plenty of signs that vegan is the way to go, and there's no reason not to be vegan. And I mean, like B12 and calcium and protein, like they don't come from the animals; they come from the plants that the animals eat. They come from soil. So I mean, it'd be much better to just get protein for plants because I mean it digests better and you have better absorption. Like the animals break it down, and I mean you get 10% of the energy the animals have. The animals got 10% of the energy that plants have, so just eat the plants. And also you can just look up an omnivore compared to an herbivore, compared to a carnivore, compared to a frugivore. Like, it's pretty easy to see humans are most similar to other frugivores, like other primates, gorillas, chimpanzees, monkeys, because, I mean, our digestive system is most similar to them, and our teeth were the same as them, pretty much. A carnivore, you can see they're pretty different. They have much bigger teeth, and their digestive system is totally different. Their stomach acid is at a totally different pH, much more acidic for digesting bone, dissolving bone. And ours is just like a frugivore. And it is really bad for the environment, so I mean, it's like there are plenty of reasons to go vegan. Like I was just talking to some people yesterday. They asked me. There was this black girl that likes to talk to me because she knows like I'm vegan and I do weird stuff, and I do qigong outside the school. Sometimes she probably sees me. She asks me about my yoga and how I get to walk around State Park and how I meditate a lot. She said she wants to get into meditation, and so she was with her group of friends. They all look obese or overweight, or yeah. They asked me like, "Do your parents meditate with you?" And no, I'm very different from the rest of my family. And like I said, I'm the only vegan in my family. So at Thanksgiving, but they finished my sentence for me. They said, "Oh, so you can't eat any of the food?" And I eat some of the food, but I mean it is annoying how they have all that non-vegan stuff like challah made with eggs and chocolate cake, and I mean they actually have dead bodies, turkey, roasted turkey, and I don't know, probably chicken, brisket, yeah, things made with eggs and dairy. Yeah, the rest of my family, they barely even think about what they're eating. Like, I told my aunt I'm vegan, and she did used to be a vegetarian, and she like didn't know what that was, and she didn't ask. I mean, just ask. When someone says I'm this or there's this, they're talking about something you don't know about. Then why don't you ask them? Okay, what is that? Then rather than just assuming, like, you ask, what do you eat? Like, she asked, you eat bread, right, challah? And I was like, well, challah's made with a lot of eggs. So she was like, what? You don't eat eggs? And like, I was asking about the dipping sauce for the vegetables, and I was asking what's in it, and she went through a list, and she went through a bunch of things. Then she finally, like, the last thing she said was sour cream, and I was like, oh, so I don't eat dairy. Yeah, I didn't eat any of it. I think another thing she made for me, fish sauce in it, so no, vegans don't eat fish, and fish has mercury in it. So it's obviously not good for us. There's no reason to eat fish. And why are there videos coming out that say in a few years people are gonna have to eat cricket protein bars because we won't be able to use like cows and stuff because they use so many resources, and chickens and pigs, they consume so many resources, and they produce so much manure that's really bad for the environment. And yeah, people say agriculture is the biggest impact humans have on the environment, but I mean, most of that's animals. They need to roam big pastures, and they only need to drink a ton of water, but it's all the water that goes into the plants that the animals have to eat. And yeah, all the manure, methane, they poop like 5 times more than humans. They spend 80% of their time eating, while humans spend 5% of their time eating. And so the manure, methane, is way worse than CO2 and bad for the environment. Biggest greenhouse gas source. So what was you talking about? So yeah, the cricket protein bars, like, they just want people to think that they still need to eat animals, because animals, I think people are healthiest mentally when they have no connection to animals whatsoever. They don't even touch their skin, like, no wearing leather or fur or silk. That's why I think Gucci stopped using fur and silk and leather and cashmere, wool. Yeah, it's really bad for us. Like, I see once I started going vegan, avoiding all animal stuff, my brain just works a lot better. So much more energy, because obviously humans don't need to eat every day. Like, just yesterday, I drank water and that was it. Like, yeah, there are plenty of people that have gone on very long water fasts. Like, I mean, Jesus did a 44-day water fast, or I've done dry fasts over like 43 hours as long as I went. And actually that night when I started eating, I was just really hungry because I was sitting in this guy's apartment. He was part of a Druid circle. He wanted to introduce us to this meetup he started about Druids because he's Druid. He wanted to like start a Druid circle. And so we blessed the food, and he made a bunch of food like roasted carrots and yeah, I think I forgot the other stuff. Roasted carrots, and so I was just really hungry, and he said, like, it's a special occasion, it's Bridget's Day, we should celebrate. I figured, well, we kinda are gonna eat anyways, so. And he was talking, I started eating some carrots, because I was just so hungry. But, I mean, of course, the traditional Irish thing, he also made, I think it was sheep liver stew or whatever. And it's like, why, just because that's tradition, it's like, in the old days, in the Middle Ages, people would roast chicken and they make stews from chicken, but, I mean, that was the only thing calorically dense for them to eat. Like, they needed a lot of calories because agriculture wasn't really sustainable or wasn't a thing back then. They didn't have a ton of plants that they could fly in from other countries. They couldn't buy, like, nuts in excess. So, I mean, obviously, people eat way more than they need to, like, especially in the United States and the first world countries. Food was meant for survival, not pleasure. So that's part of the reason I'm a Satanist. But yeah, everyone should be able to be vegan. Like, if cows weren't eating, I think it's half or 10% of, I think half or a tenth of the world's grain, we'd be able to end world hunger, but and some people just really like to eat the animals. I mean, and they say veganism is too expensive, but it's like, I mean, it's only first world countries that can afford the meat because you're paying for the externalities. The externalities. So, I mean, poor countries, they meat, animal products cost a lot. Because, I mean, they consumed a lot of resources in their life. Why else am I saying this? Because I've noticed people they don't even know how to use proper grammar, like English. Like, last night I heard there is plenty of men in the sea. I mean, that should be there are plenty of men in the sea. Or, I don't know, you can just look for it. People just don't. I guess grammar is kind of one of the more nitpicky things, but, I mean, it's just, you live in this country, it's your world, learn how to communicate. Like, even the academic team in my high school, they were really bad at geography. Like, they didn't even know that Lebanon was north of Israel. Most Americans think Pakistan is in America, so it's like, it's your world, know your way around it, learn your geography. I'm really good at geography. And, I guess a lot of people, they don't want to learn vocabulary. I like learning vocabulary. I'm a languaphile. Most people think it's really hard to learn, like, a language or even learn how to draw good. Everyone says, like, I can't draw at all. I can barely draw a stick figure. I'm a terrible artist. And, well, did you practice? Have you practiced? Do you try? No, I mean, most people, they just don't practice, so they don't think they're good at anything. That's why there's a big difference between fixed mindsets and incremental mindsets. Like, the better people are the people that think, oh wait, I make mistakes and I practice and make mistakes, so I get better over time. And, like, there's tiers, levels, incremental. Like, first run a mile, then because next day or something you can run 2 miles, then next day run 3 miles, and yeah, incrementally. And most people think, wait, I'm not good at math the first time, or I'm not good at drawing or whatever the first time, so it's a waste of my time. Failure is a waste of my time. It does mean I should practice and get better. Because, I mean, yeah, that's pretty stupid. Yeah, I'm saying this for, like, why people continue to smoke cigarettes and e-cigs and vape and cigars, and now for some people it helps them control the pain. They're in pain, but it's like, and you have the choice to be healthy, and there are plenty of holistic, better treatments for stuff. It's like, why be unhealthy? And so especially, like, I feel like it's more guys that are, I mean, there are women too that do dumb stuff, but guys who mistreat, I mean, my mom, she says, like, I learned in abnormal psychology, the people who grow up to be sociopaths or antisocial are, when they're kids, they're the kids that torture animals. And she says, that's horrible. Like, everyone freaked out about the story about Michael Vick, how he had his bulldogs fight to death, or his pit bulls. And, then they always cry about the animal abuse on TV, like Mitt Romney having his dog, like, strapped to the roof of the car. And, but then they go out to an all-meat restaurant, so it's like, why would you love this animal more than that animal? Like, why do you... And there's also a thing about people doubting, like, tell people about Dr. Emoto, how water responds differently to different types of music. Like, I think it's good to talk to your plants. And, how people are always... like, they need proof of stuff. They can't go on their own evidence. Like, they don't want to try stuff like sun gazing just in the morning, sunrise and sunset. Like, they say, oh, there's no proof or evidence for that, for the health benefits. But no, I do it, like, through my own experience. I think it makes me feel better, so I think it's good. And, I mean, there's other stuff just to your own experience. That's your best evidence. So that is why I think humans are the real devil, and why I am a Levian Satanist. Okay, this video is already too long. Signing off.